Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. Hello, hello. Good to see your faces. Looking good, looking good. My name is Josue Rios, and as your MC, welcome one, welcome all. Students, faculty, staff, retirees, alumni, community members, and especially the Renick family. Let's come together to celebrate this historic day for our campus, the renaming celebration of the very building we stand in. On behalf of UM-Dearborn, let's welcome those who are joining us through our live stream. Say hello. Allow me to introduce myself a little more. I am a current UM-Dearborn student studying marketing at the College of Business. Whether through my work as an engaged scholar, a career peer at Career Services, president of Culture, the Musicians Club, and a student representative on the UM-Dearborn Alumni Society Board. Campus engagement is my thing. As the University Center stands as the hub for student activity and many memories within, I was absolutely honored to serve this community as your host today. So, pleasure to be here. Joining me on stage later will be Chancellor Domenico Grasso and Castle Professor Dr. Deborah Smith Pollard. We will also be sharing a tribute video to Chancellor Renick and unveil the new lettering that will officially identify this building as the James C. Renick University Center. I think we kind of spoiled that. But we would like to welcome members of the late Chancellor's family, including his wife Peggy, his daughter Corinda, son-in-law Nicholas, and grandchildren Cash and Cruz. Thank you guys for coming. James Renick was UM-Dearborn's fourth chancellor, serving our campus from January 1993 through July 1999, excuse me. During his tenure, Chancellor Renick focused on positioning the campus to be more responsive to educational, cultural, economic, and intellectual issues. The needs of the region, in essence. Chancellor Renick built on our strong commitment to students, solidified external support, and expanded the use of information technology to enhance teaching and learning. The campus experienced major growth during his leadership as well, including increases in enrollment and some of the buildings on campus that you see today. Chancellor Renick left UM-Dearborn to become president of North Carolina A&T State University. Afterwards, he held positions within the American Council on Education and Jackson State University. The late Chancellor passed away in January 2021, but he will forever be a part of the UM-Dearborn community, both through the groundwork that he laid for this campus, to this building, which will now bear his name. Now, the University Center stands as the heartbeat of campus. It hosts a plethora of cultures, ideas, and values, united organizations, students, and folks who happen to stumble upon events with free food, wink, wink. This building we stand in, it holds memories that are near and dear to the hearts of this community, myself included. Upon my arrival at UM-Dearborn, I had absolutely no idea what was ahead of me. I was in a season of transition at the time and everything was variable. Where could I begin my journey to connect to campus? Why are there so many separate buildings? What in the world? And what's with the variety of events in this university center? It was then that a certain community, the engaged scholars, came into play. From its variety of events at the time, including its socials and hangouts at the now Office of Student Life, it brought a sense of community. The organization showed me that college life spanned beyond the academic side. It introduced two of my favorite words: campus engagement. Every event they hosted made this building the hub for campus engagement, the fostering of relationships, and yes, a lot of free food. And yes, the free food is the way to a student's heart, mine included. You're welcome. Being a student who always appreciated food, there might be a theme here, if I didn't mention already. Even Picasso contributed to my experience here, the restaurant located in the cafe, further in the cafe. in my early days as a talent ambassador for the Talent Gateway, which eventually evolved into the career position I hold today, I ended up earning the nickname Chicken Tendy. And why is that? And before my hours at the time over in the Fairlane Center North, I would always order their tender meal, travel to the office, and eat there, much to my team's delight. And I use that term delight very loosely. In due time, the Wolverine Commons, as it is now known, became my hub for networking with organizations, students, staff, and campus leaders in general. The halls of the second floor became a gallery of opportunity. To see that there's a passion for a wide range of interests, including my own, I knew where I belonged. Through this university center, the next friendship was only a wave away. Through every step in this building, I was bound to catch up with someone or establish a new connection. When the time came to engage with my own organization, I was able to build upon the foundations that already existed in this building: community, networking, initiative, and hope. There was no way I was going into leading an entire group of people without the hope that my experiences here inspired. Let's be honest. It inspired the very foundations I mentioned: community, networking, initiative, and hope. It led me to determine myself to connect with others upon a passion I thought I was alone in, which was music. Mind blown. To this day, the impact I've experienced here stands through that org, as it hosts over dozens of folks who share that same passion for music as I do. Again, mind blown. With all that said, the University Center embodies the spirit of UM-Dearborn. It embodies community, culture, and a variety of ideas. In all honesty, I did not expect a few steps here to be the cause of my standing here today. What a journey. With that, I share my gratitude to everyone who has supported this journey. Thank you to every custodian, cook, student, staff, faculty, organization, and administrator for pouring into my life through this location. Know that your work is not in vain. Through our efforts now, let's continue to honor a man who has contributed so much to the campus community. To remark on the experiences of working with Chancellor Renick, I would like to welcome Dr. Smith Pollard, Professor of English Literature and Humanities with the College of Arts, Sciences, and Letters. She has been a faculty member at UM-Dearborn since 1995, teaching and creating a range of topics: contemporary American, women's, African American literatures and Africana studies, and gospel music history. Let's welcome Dr. Smith Pollard.
Good afternoon, Chancellor Grasso, and all of the family, friends, and University of Michigan-Dearborn colleagues, past and present, who are here to celebrate the building being named in honor of the late Chancellor Renick. After I applied to be an assistant professor of English and Humanities, and then was offered the position here at University of Michigan-Dearborn, a friend of mine told me not to take the job because she did not think it would be a safe city to work for someone who looked like me. Then she said, if I did step in, that I should not buy anything from Dearborn stores. Well, things have worked out fairly well for this full professor, in part because an African-American chancellor was in charge when I came in, and he had several things in place that made me feel welcomed and seen. Among them was Text and Community, a regular event to which major members of American culture, but to my delight, from the African American community, were invited to speak and interact on campus. There was always a lunch or dinner for them. So imagine being able to be in the same room with poet Nikki Giovanni, about whom I wrote my master's thesis. And by the way, my inviting students to see her present ended up with one of my students meeting someone else's student and the two of them getting married. He said he wished he could have invited Giovanni, while I was thinking he should have invited Chancellor Renick and yours truly, but I digress. There was the inspirational moment of being in the building with Elizabeth Catlett, whose sculpture and prints focused on the beauty of Black mothers. Her work engaged the world and landed in such spaces as the Smithsonian. Some of it was inspired by her friend Margaret Walker, the poet and novelist who produced literary gold, including the poem For My People, which became her own master's thesis, and the novel Jubilee. Mrs. Walker was even a guest for my introduction to African American literature course, where she made statements and recounted past encounters with other writers that entranced my students. Beyond the Text and Community series, Chancellor Renick had something else that made me smile. He had on display in his office and in the lobby of the administration building some of my all-time favorite artwork created by Jacob Lawrence. In the last 3 weeks, I've run into 3 students who have graduated and moved on to great opportunities. When they told me that my courses made a difference for them, it made my day. I only hope that Chancellor Renick remembered those times I thanked him for bringing such important African American artists to campus and including me in those meals. And I appreciated him for being who he was and handling that position. Seeing him there often made me smile. Finally, I hope those who are listening today are understanding that the word representation, that some may feel is overused, has a serious meaning and can make someone, even an assistant professor, feel seen, and a full professor get a bit teary, even as she recalls those memories. And thank you, Chancellor Grasso, the Board of Regents, and the campus committee members for naming this building in honor of my first chancellor, Dr. James C. Renick. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you, Dr. Smith-Pollard. We appreciate you sharing your firsthand understanding of the leader Chancellor Renick was. Thank you again. I would like to now welcome UM-Dearborn's 6th and current Chancellor, Domenico Grasso. Chancellor Grasso has been leading UM-Dearborn since 2018, and he also stands as Professor of Public Policy and Administration with the College of Arts, Sciences, and Letters, Professor of Sustainable Engineering with the College of Engineering and Computer Science, and Executive Officer of the University of Michigan. Let's welcome Chancellor Grasso. Take it away, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone, to this very special and momentous day. I want to thank everybody who made this possible, especially, where is Cassandra? Cassandra helped me start the process by putting in all the paperwork to get through the executive officers and the regents, and that was no trivial task. And then Sarah Dorchek, who led her team to put this entire event together. So I want to give them a big round of applause. I also want to add my welcome to Peggy, Corinda, Nicholas, and their children, Cash and Cruz, to this event commemorating Peggy's husband, their grandfather, father, because this is something that is a first for our campus. This is the first honorific naming of a building on our campus. We have buildings named, but they were a result of philanthropy and gifts. This is the first building in which we are naming after someone that deserves the honor that gave no money to the university. So, but they did give something more important than money. They gave a lasting legacy. It's very fitting that this building is going to be named after James Renick. He started a process of turning the university into what he called an interactive university because he believed in the liberating effect of higher education. So many people that are first generation that go through university benefit from the experience that they have at universities, but then they forget from whence they came, and they pull up the ladder behind them. James Renick did just the opposite. He came through, he saw what needed to be done, and he lowered the ladder even further so that it would be easier to get on the ladder and climb up to higher rungs. Of course, he left many enduring contributions. Most importantly is the Martin Luther Day of Service, the Commemoration Day of Service. And if you look behind you, there are T-shirts all framed up there for each day since he was here that commemorate a different theme for the Day of Service. This has become commonplace now in the United States, but we were at the tip of the spear, living up to our moniker of leaders and best, and this campus and James Renick was responsible for that. He was also, as I mentioned, committed to access to a Michigan degree, and this is an incredibly important aspect of his legacy that lives on to this day, because we have programs like the Go Blue Guarantee, the Dearborn Comeback, Destination Dearborn, the STEM Scholars, and the new Learn Forward to a Michigan degree program that all derive from his philosophy of access to a high-quality education. Under his leadership, when I go through this, I'm thinking, I am a real slacker because I've been here 4 years and I've done nothing yet. Under his leadership, he saw record enrollments. He completed the first capital campaign, and he began the building of 3 important buildings on this campus: the Environmental Interpretive Center, the Wellness Center, and the College of Arts, Science, and Letters. That's an incredible accomplishment in a very short time span. He also built relationships with the community and corporate leaders and served on the boards of New Detroit and the Detroit Urban League. He also, outside of this, met many influential, recognized leaders in the world. He met Ralph Ellison, Muhammad Ali, and President Bill Clinton. Yet he didn't display these accomplishments in his office. Rather, he displayed on his desk his modest home from Rockford, Illinois, and he said that it was a reminder of his roots and an indication of what still needed to be done. So it gives me great pleasure to know that as our students and future generations of students walk through this building, they will hopefully learn of this great leader's commitment to this campus and his legacy. And one thing that I have not shared with Peggy yet is that we have also just put out an RFP. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a request for proposals for an artist to paint an oil painting of Chancellor Renick that will hang in this building here. So that, knowing how government agencies work, that may take up to a year before it actually materializes, but it is in the works. So this is the moment where we convert the name of this building from the University Center to the James Renick University Center. And this is going to change the whole meaning of the word Renick, because it no longer belongs just to an individual, it belongs to all of us. And what we're going to see is people saying, I'm going to meet you at the Renick Center, and then it's going to get shorted that I'm going to meet you at the Renick, and then nobody's going to know what that means, but people will trace it back to the legacy of James Renick. And I'm deeply honored to celebrate his legacy by christening this building with its new name, the James C. Renick University Center.
Dr. Renick was one of a kind. He made a difference in the campus atmosphere. He made a difference in the lives of the students, and I think he made a difference in the lives of the faculty.
Chancellor Renick was an inspiring and a really I found him to be a very warm figure. I always remember him having an open door policy. I always remember him being the kind of person who was willing to talk things out.
When I first heard about the building being renamed in his memory, I thought, what a wonderful tribute. Chancellor Renick's legacy, I would call him a chancellor of students, because not only was he concerned about the academic success of students, but he wanted them to grow as individuals.
The University Center is a very central part of my university experience because I spend most of my time here. Currently, I'm a member of Pride, which is the only LGBTQ org on campus, and I'm a member of the Public Health Society. And both of those orgs have really been instrumental in just making me feel community on campus. We often meet up at the University Center for our meetings, and it helps make sure that there's just a central place that we can gather, talk, and also just know what's happening on campus. The University Center is definitely the heartbeat of the university as a whole because you have everyone coming through here. And so you get to see a little microcosm of what is happening all over campus.
I had a chance to meet Chancellor Renick during my first year on campus. I'll never forget, we were actually sort of, in the atrium area, and he told me that, I should get involved. On student government, one of my roles was to sort of take issues to him and to say, hey, here's what I'm hearing from the students. I never found him to be someone who was hesitant to listen at all. He was always open to hearing other points of view. One of the things that I appreciate now, looking back, is that, the leaders you meet when you're a student can have an extraordinary impact on your life. You may not realize it at the time, but they will.
So the University of Michigan-Dearborn has a long legacy, thanks to Dr. Renick, of being engaged in community in a variety of ways. Because of Chancellor Renick's leadership in creating the MLK Day of Service at U of M-Dearborn, we proudly this year will be hosting the 30th annual MLK Day of Service. And we continue to see thousands of hours of service each year from faculty, staff, students, and alumni. Building connections and community was a priority of Chancellor Renick, and today we are proud that that is a part of the fabric of who we are at the University of Michigan-Dearborn.
I remember the MLK Day of Service in 2000, and Chancellor Renick pulled me aside and said, hey, I'd like you to say something on stage. So he spoke, and then I had a chance to speak right after him. And it was a really breakthrough moment for me because I was able to look out at this audience and realize just how diverse it was, just how many people had gathered together that looked different, that were from different backgrounds, different experiences. Then we were all there to do something shared together. And, Chancellor Renick had talked about the importance of that, but to be on stage and to sort of almost see it from his point of view was a really special thing for me. And I have to say that it has influenced everything that I have done since. To me, Chancellor Renick really kind of inspired the notion that when you have diverse voices in the room, you're going to make better decisions. You're going to reach better outcomes. You're going to create better things. It's always really inspiring for me to see a legacy continue, especially when it's somebody who has really earned that place.
It's really good to know that his vision is still living in the University Center, and the building's being dedicated to that. And so it's good to make sure that we have that legacy of a chancellor and kind of keep that acknowledgement going, kind of like what we had and where we're going.
It's such an honor to be able to recognize those who have contributed in meaningful ways to the experience of our students in such a positive way. Chancellor Renick was an important figure in UM-Dearborn history, and we're so glad to be able to carry that legacy forward.
I imagine that he would greet this moment with the same level of humility that I always knew him to greet it with. I see him stepping up to a podium, giving a warm speech, making everybody in the audience feel like it's not just his accomplishment, but their accomplishment, that they had the voices that were needed in order to make this happen. And in the end, I think we would all walk out of the room feeling like we did this together, because that's what Chancellor Renick did.
Knowing him, I think deep down that he would be very appreciative, very humbled. It's so well deserved, and I'm so excited that this is happening for him.
Oh, thank you, Chancellor Grasso. And what a fitting tribute video, if I may say so. Thank you to everyone who has shared their stories. Now, let me know once we get the live stream going, because the moment we've all been waiting for is about to come upon us. All right? So, we are excited to unveil the official signage that will welcome guests into the James C. Renick University Center. Please direct your attention to our video monitors, which are streaming a live shot from the building entrance. Dr. Smith-Pollard, Chancellor Grasso, care to join me back on stage? Now, here comes the fun part. Let's join me in giving our student volunteers a countdown to drop the curtain. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Yes. Let's do this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's do this. There we are. I want to officially welcome you to the James C. Renick University Center. With a little bit of cardboard on the C. Because the C stands for cardboard. No, okay. But thank you all for joining us. This celebration is far from over though. We encourage you to join Maze Fest, which is happening right behind you. Convenient, huh? Head over and hear directly from UM-Dearborn student organizations that call the James C. Renick University Center home. Learn more about their current initiatives, grab a bite to eat, and hop on a tour of this new UC. We're excited to host the grand opening of the Campus Involvement Hub afterwards, so please stay, enjoy, and continue to celebrate Chancellor James C. Renick and the University Center. Thank you all. Go Blue, go Dearborn.
I thought I would be nervous.